A group of lawyers under the aegis of Lawyers Network for Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2023 have pledged their support for the All Progressives Congress party candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu and his running mate Kashim Shettima. The group noted that they decided to support Tinubu's ambition and work for his success because of his antecedents when he was Lagos State Governor, adding that Nigeria requires a leader that is efficient and effective to move the nation forward. The group had a road walk in support of the APC candidate, noting that the forthcoming 2023 general election is the future of the nation, and as lawyers in Lagos State, they will campaign rigorously for Tinubu's Shettima presidency.
I've come to join my colleagues here, Lawyers Network for Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Shettima, to appreciate them for the support they are giving to the community. This is, I believe, a give back to the community. They are appreciative too. They are saying thank you to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and we are assuring him that come 2023, all our votes are for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
As a lawyer, we come out to give out free legal advice, legal aid of any sort, and we also invited some medical personnel to come in and give free tests and legal and medical advice. So the essence of this is so that we can reach the grassroots and sensitize them on the importance of choosing the right candidate for the forthcoming election.
The sensitization program for people within Shomolu Bariga houses, we gave them free medical and legal aid. We started from yesterday, and we're happy for the turnout from the people of Shomolu and Bariga. They have come out in mass to benefit from this program, from this free medical health care and legal aid. And they have, and the turnout from them has been very, very impressive.
Well, joining us in the studio is a lawyer and convener, Lawyers Network for Bola Ahmed Tinubu Landbat, Adedotun Ajulo. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. Talk to us about this decision to, throw your weight behind the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the presidential candidate for the APC and his running mate. What informed that choice? Well,
let me start by sorting an impression. While you were doing the initial, what is it called? You made mention that we are lawyers in Lagos State rooting for Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay.
Let me quickly clear that. We are not, we are lawyers across board. The spread is across the country.
All right.
And today we have over 6,000 registered members of Nigerian Bar Association who are members of this group, while we are still recruiting more. The Lawyers Network for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a group of lawyers who have decided not to just lay back, who realize that indeed we are social engineers, who knows our place in the society, that by virtue of our training, by virtue of the profession we are into, we are at a vantage position to influence or direct the mind of a majority of the electorates where they want to go. I can assure you that in deciding or electing a president, in going to vote on the day of election, all some people we need, that's the level we have in Nigeria, all some people we need, my lawyer, where do you think we should go? And we have sat down and we felt this impact must get to the electorate, like what we know, what we are aware of, by virtue of our education, by virtue of our training as lawyer, by virtue of our profession. So it is in that light that we decided to come under a group, to say, come, we are going into 2023. 2023 is one of the most strategic in the nation history since 1999 election we are going to have. And our inaugural speech that we had the International Press Conference, it was titled and themed, "The Reality on Our Path to 2023. We have sat down to whatever feelings, whatever emotion, whatever disposition, dominion towards 2023 election must be matched with the existing reality. What is the existing reality as far as 2023 is concerned? We have Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let me, pardon me, to mention just 2-3 persons. We have Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have Atiku Abubakar. We have Peter Obi. And we have sat down to look, come, in choosing who is going to be the president of this country, considering our peculiar challenges as it stands, people must go back to check antecedents of those who are running. And when we look at the antecedent, the past record, interestingly, all of these persons, particularly these 3 major contenders I've mentioned, they have one time or the other had been in the political space or public office. So let us go back quickly to their record, beyond whatever sentiment, beyond whatever attachment, to decide who should be the president 2023. And
Right.
it is based on that antecedent we felt Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We place him better than any other person.
So, like you said, you are a group of eminent personalities, lawyers, especially. You've laid the background now to the position lawyers hold in the society. But for you to decide on your choice, that's the Asiwaju Tinubu Shettima. You are giving your votes to him and talking about his antecedents. What's come forth as peculiar strengths that he has above the other contestant, especially with his contributions to your sector where you operate from?
Very well. I will. Even the opponents agrees that in terms of policy, in terms of proactiveness about governance, no politician today raised better than Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Nigeria. Let me quickly go into let's look at the judiciary. A lot of reforms you see in the country today took steps after Lagos State. I remember way back in law school, and when we started discussing, even lecturers, when we start discussing about the multi-door, the issue of arbitration, mediation, and in law, there is this we call front-loading. Lecturers will be quick to tell you that this sort of template started from Lagos. And as I speak, even Abuja, being the federal capital, a lot of ideas that you are seeing that in improving the judiciary came all the way from Lagos. And they started under Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the administration of criminal justice system that we have today. They all take their leap from Lagos State. So, if that is if we are limiting our basis for the choice of Asiwaju to the issue of judiciary, I wouldn't want to bore you with other things that in other sectors. But what we are saying is we are seeing through this man, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and in terms of policy being introduced that even the federal government today are using for templates, which cut across all sectors. These are things that emanated from Lagos, and they started with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
All right. So let's get to specifics now.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier that knowing how much influence you give, but
Veronica,
I know we
right.
need to go on a commercial break. When we return, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. We've been speaking with the convener, Lawyers Network for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Adedotun Ajulo, on their decision to drum up support for the APC presidential candidate in person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, before we went on the break, I was asking that you mentioned earlier that the lawyers, wield some level of influence in the society, and that is what you want to channel to garnering the needed support from the grassroots, perhaps, for the APC presidential candidate. And I'm wondering what strategies now that the lawyers are looking to employ to, drum up this support, gather the necessary or needed numbers for these candidates?
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I forgot to mention quickly that when we say Lawyers Network for Bola Tinubu, though I've mentioned that in passing, we are not just looking at lawyers. We are not just talking about lawyers. It is a case of lawyers now going to institutions, groups, organizations. Let me use the popular parlance, going into the streets to galvanize support. You've asked about the strategy being deployed and all of that. Basically, what we have been doing is to go to talk to our people, the market women, the unions of road transport workers, basically people on the street, to engage them and let them understand, during campaigning, a lot of things go on. Like on the issue of the time, talking about the choice of the running mate and all of that. You can see that a peculiar set of people, politicians, quickly want to take advantage of that by selling the wrong narratives to the people outside there. So we came out, we went into places, even places of worship, to enlighten our people that, come on, you see, when it comes to leadership, in this part of the world, religion has not played any role. So what we are doing basically is to go and engage the people, and we like you displayed earlier on. We have so many programs, particularly giving legal aids. As of last 2 weeks, we're able to go into where they work in a particular two local governments within Lagos State, whereby we called on our people, and at the end of the day, we're able to pick up list of from families of about 60 to 67 persons who are currently in prison custodies within Lagos and Ogun State for one offense or the other. And we've taken it upon ourselves to do that as pro bono. Like for them, we visited them. We are visiting them. We visited a quite good number of them in Ikoyi prison, Kirikiri, and Ibarra prison in Abeokuta. And we are still visiting more. So these are areas in which these are areas of strength in which we are using to penetrate the people at the grassroots in order to talk to them that, come, 2023, for whatever it is worth, don't make a mistake in your choice of who you are going to vote. Let us do it for Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. And we can assure you that with the kind of man he is, you are going to get more of this from us.
But how does this fit in? Because you raised an obvious need, which is that the custodial centers are brimming with, so many people, more than the centers, these facilities can even handle. And so offering these essential services is very much welcome, when you look at the need on the ground. But how does this fit into the manifesto, into the ideals that Asiwaju Tinubu and his running mate, how it fits in with their own manifestos to the people? Is there room for this?
Yes, well, very well. When you read there's a policy document in circulation as I speak from Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and you can see when it comes to the area of the judiciary, it talks more about our legal system. All of these things boils down to the system, the way it works, and all of that. For us, Asiwaju, like I said earlier on, is a man, as far as I'm concerned, with the right innovations when it comes to some of these issues. It's as if he has this direct feeling of whatever it is. In Lagos State today, I can tell you, you have mentioned custodial center and the rest of it. Being lawyers, we have the opportunity of going around and the rest of it. Even though issue about custodial center is exclusive to the federal government. But I can tell you, there is no state that provides facility to complement federal government like Lagos State. Centers were built by Lagos State in support of the federal government. So in terms of even the custodial facility, talking about correctional centers, it is only in Lagos State. You need to visit some of these states and understand what we are saying. It is only in Lagos State that you have something relatively habitable, something relatively human when it comes to custodial centers. And we are saying, with the little we have seen as a governor in Lagos State, we believe, it's reflected in the policy document, we believe this is going to translate into more at the federal level.
Right. There's this other aspect. You've said, talked about going to markets to meet market women, yes, and to go to the parks to meet, the persons in the park. But these people have leaders, who are also at their level campaigning. And I'm wondering if there is some level of uniformity of message, how you're ensuring that there is uniformity of message, and that there is some level of perhaps you're liaising with these people, not just in Lagos, like you have rightly pointed, that it's also across the 36 states, yes, of the Federation, as well as the Federal Capital Territory.
Well, in reaching out to them, like you observed, we liaise with their leaders. It's not easy to have people like you will see in many of in our brochure, that when we're having an interface with these people, you see people in groups, you see people in their number. In achieving this, what we have been doing is to liaise with their leaders. And we've had instances whereby even these leaders, they believe, where they don't initially believe, they have their preferred candidate. We've had instances that we have to go extra miles to convince the leaders in question. So we have been liaising with them, and we have been liaising with them, and we are doing more so looking at it from the angle whereby you mentioned uniformity of message. Take it from me, with every sense of modesty, we are lawyers. And the reception from these sections of the people in our society have been quite impressive. Right. I think they are finding it more interesting that, these are lawyers coming to talk to us. So, like I mentioned in my earlier, reaction, I said, we are aware of the level of influence we are able to. So that has been translating into a very impressive response and turnout for us from the people.
We need to go quickly on a commercial break. When we return, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for staying with us. We still have the convener Lawyers Network for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Adedotun Ajulo, in the studio with us, talking about a group of lawyers who have decided to support the APC presidential candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and you were to ask him a question.
Right. I particularly have interest in, some of the innovations that, Lagos State's judiciary has been enjoying, somewhat. And that has to do, you mentioned the multi-door courthouse. Many Nigerians may not understand what you mean by this, and how it could also be replicated, what it could also bring for other Nigerians living in other areas of the country. So tell us a bit about these benefits.
Okay. The multi-door courthouse, like I mentioned, is a process of arbitration where there are matters between parties. They are given a venue instead of the adjudicatory, this thing that we are all used to. They are given the avenue to come, try to resolve. Let's see if this can be resolved amicably. But it is to be noted that that has been replicated in so many other states of Nigeria. And that was why I mentioned it. Like in Ogun State, even in Abuja, you now have multi-door courthouses. So what I'm saying is these are some of the innovations that started under the administration. And that has, in fact, in Lagos State today, the process of putting in court processes of a party instituting a matter against another party is so long. Long in the sense that as far as Lagos State is concerned, Lagos State Judiciary is concerned, even you, the party that affects you, are wrong. They want you to they are pushing you to the other party you intend to sue to see how far you can have your matter resolved long before your matter resolved before coming to approach the court and start to battle litigiously. And so these are the innovations that we are talking, and it has helped so well. It has helped so well in reducing the number of cases we have in court. Because when you are talking of adjudication, I can tell you that today I have a matter of 2005. Way back when I was even in university, that I'm handling today, that has been in court. So this innovation, I can tell you that in another 5, with these innovations, in another 5, 10 years, in fact, matters that you are filing in Lagos State as of today can no longer last that long because of the whole avenue of mediation, arbitration, multi-door, and the rest that has been introduced. So I will again take you into even looking at the probate registry, even looking at the land registry, all of this documentation of land, probate registry, and the rest of it. Everything in Lagos State has been digitalized. It's a process whereby you, as a client, you can follow through with just your, you are just away from knowing what is going on, the stage of your matters. You are just away as much as you have your phone. You can follow through what is going on. In Lagos State today, when you file a matter and you have your suit number, be in the US, be wherever, you can follow up the state in which your matter is. It's just about putting it up there through the website and the rest. So these are for us, for lawyers. This means so much to us, helping us out with this rigorous process of filing, adjudication, and all of that. And so we are saying that if this, yes, already the states are taking up these initiatives, particularly on this issue of multi-door, particularly on this issue of anything related to arbitration, mediation, and all. The states, practically all the states in Nigeria, particularly in the south, they have taken it up. But we are saying, if a man by his idea, by his policy in government, can give us this much as a state governor, whereby states are learning or picking up from it, imagine having the man at the arm of affairs of the country, what we are going to have. So those are the transformation, those are the reformation we are talking about from our own side, being our, because judiciary is our constituency. From our own constituency, this is what we have that we are telling Nigerians about that. Come on, if this man can do it in Lagos, let's give him the opportunity at the federal. States are taking up such already.
Of course, there's been calls for reforms in the judiciary, and from what you're saying is that Nigerians would see more if they vote him in. That's what you're trying to
do. Very well. Nigeria will see more.
But lawyers have expectations. Okay. I want to believe in the area with regards to the areas they would want to see addressed as quickly as possible, the reforms they want to see beyond the things you have mentioned. Perhaps you could throw light on that, the expectations of the reforms you are hoping for.
For basically, I can tell you that the challenge of every lawyer is quick dispensation. And as it is today, the area whereby there's so much expectation that everyone who is in legal practice is looking up to is particularly the dispensation of cases at the appellate court, particularly the Supreme Court. I can tell you today that the civil matter, your appeal, to, apart from election matter and all of that, the civil matter today in Supreme Court, for your matter to be heard in 10 years' time, there are matters you fight today. Your appeal to be decided. So as I speak, the appeal they are deciding in our Supreme Court, Nigeria today, the appeal of 2012, 2010. So talking about 2018, 2020, don't bother yourself. You have to wait for another. So these are areas in which, and that's what we told people in our inaugural press conference, come, we are not leaving out anything. Asiwaju is not a man that we intend to have this man in power, and we have to follow through as lawyers by making suggestions and recommendations. There'll be agitations that, okay, maybe all we need is to decentralize the Supreme Court, like we have in Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal today, you have them in almost virtually all the states in Nigeria. So if it means we need to have Supreme Court, even in our 6th geopolitical zone, so that these things can move forward. You can imagine a 2005 matter still at the High Court at this level. What if the matter is going to transcend what we have at the High Court? We are going to Court of Appeal. And you have to go and wait for another 10 years. You have to be on the queue 10 to 12, 15 years at the Supreme Court. So, like I've mentioned, we are not just we don't just intend to see him through into power, getting the power, getting there as a president. We intend to follow through by providing some of these innovations, by suggesting recommending, and we are talking about a man that you will all agree, he has a listening here. As far as it's concerned, everybody, so long you have the idea to give, you are welcome anytime, any day. It was in that light, that we felt when a particular group of persons wanted to take advantage of whatever might have happened to us in the state in 2020, the NSAS thing, by saying they want to converge at the Lekki toll gate, where they want to have a rally. That was against 1st of October. So as a group, we went to court to challenge that. No. Yes, everybody might be nursing whatever we are nursing concerning NSAS, but this is not a situation whereby any political party should come and take advantage of. And as far as we were concerned then, one of our major concerns that prompted us to approach the court, even though we are doing Bola Ahmed Tinubu, one of the major concerns is this. You are saying you want to gather at Lekki to get. Persons from other camp and group, they are saying, come, we'll be there too. Because we know you want to capitalize on what has happened in 2020 to take advantage of the situation. And imagine, if not for the instrumentality of law that was being displayed, imagine the chaos we might have found ourselves. So you can see that as a group, we have said it in our own position paper, we are not just going to leave Nigeria. We are not just talking about voting Asiwaju into the office of the presidency in 2023. No. We have to follow through as a group to checkmate policies, to brief Nigeria, to always reach back to Nigerians on policies and that affect the masses.
Right. Let me quickly, take you up on, a key issue that concerns everyone, yes, irrespective of where your affiliations, political and otherwise, lie. Right. And in your interaction with, residents across the country, I want to believe that security has featured, rather paramount in what people want and what people expect that the incoming administration would do to better what we have on ground. You spoke earlier on about perhaps a decentralization of the Supreme Court. And, talking about the polity, people have spoken about state police. Would the incoming administration perhaps, give us some, more answers in this regard, whether it is indeed the solution to the problem we have on our hands? So what's your take?
Yes, again, I'll still go back to the policy paper that has been going all around. But before delving into that, I would like to mention these are all contained in our own position paper as well, in our press conference, which TVC was part of the coverage and all of that. You see, it is all about ideas. It is all about proactiveness. It is all about dynamism. You will acknowledge and cherish the fact that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into the government as governor of Lagos State when the issue of bank robbery was very, very rampant. We have families, we have friends who lost their lives to people. You see them coming out from the bank, and the next thing is they are being shot and they are being dispossessed of whatever they have. So, relatively, between 1999 to 2007, all of that was a past history as far as Lagos State is concerned. We will still have issues with, but compared to the population of Lagos, crime relatively is reduced. When you look at the population and the kind of crime we still have, the criminal activities is well reduced. So, talking about the state police and the rest of it, for me, it has even started with this government. In today, you have the Amotekun and the rest of it. So, in as much as we may not have the state police like in the conventional way as expected, I believe the current government of APC has even given the room for the state policing. And in the policy document that has been circulated, that was quite mentioned that as much as the government is concerned, come 2023, issue of security, more is going to be given. They are going to deal more with the immediate communities and society through vigilantes and the rest. So that's the way you have the state policing, and I believe we will have the best in terms of security as much as we can.
All right, we'll have to leave the conversation here now. We must thank you, lawyer and convener, Lawyers Network for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Adedotun Ajulo, for your time on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.